Throughout Cinderella's revenge, when Cinderella goes on her murderous spree, she gets a mask that glows very brightly, just like this. Get this shit out of here. Strap yourself in. This is gonna be a ride. Hello everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out this video. My name is Mike and normally I would do a movie review, but this is going to be kind of a movie review discussion slash spoiler breakdown on Cinderella's Revenge. So if you've not seen this movie and you really want to check it out and don't want to be spoiled, get the heck out of here. Come back when you've seen the movie and let's talk about it then. But if you really don't care and you just want to have fun in this video, well, stick around and join me and feel free to subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos. Now, I have got a fresh, crisp, cold can of Coors Lager beer here. And the reason I've brought a Coors can to this review is because every time we talk about something stupid, I'm going to take a sip of beer, so strap in. I mean, this is just going to be can 1. We may end up getting onto 10 cans by the end of this video. We'll wait and see. But we're talking about Cinderella's Revenge. Yeah. I'll take a sip for every time something stupid is going to be said. Cinderella's Revenge definitely kicks things off. Now, if we're going to start into kind of where this movie starts, right? Okay, it starts in the director's chair, which is Andy Edwards. Now, never seen any of that guy's filmography, so I can't comment if he's made some great movies before, if he hasn't, if this is a directorial debut feature. I'll be honest, I really don't know. And with that in account, yeah, this is my first ever experience of him. Now, I have got a list here of the cast, and I'm not going to kind of cut away every time I talk about a cast member, but the main cast that you need to know, the first one we're going to talk about is Lauren Staerck, if I've got that right. Sorry, I probably butchered the surname. And she plays our title character of Cinderella. Now, first thing is, when we start this movie, we get an opening scene, opening shot of kind of our set location where we're going to be using, and then we get this kind of pop theme song that kicks in that's like something along the lines of Cinderella, this isn't your average story, this is with a twist, and it cuts out. Now this singer sounded a little bit of a mix of like a Billie Eilish, a bit of a Taylor Swift, and I'm not really too sure which other influences, but we get a pop song to tell us, despite the fact that this movie is called Cinderella's Revenge, that this is going to be a movie that is a twist. You know what time it is. 101 Stupidity. As if the title of anyone going into this called Cinderella's Revenge is going to be thinking, this is going to be a lovely Disney movie. We're going to know where this is going to go. Absolute moronic, the fact that we get this song. But hey, they want to throw that in there. Let them have it, right? Let's throw that song in there. So, as this starts out, we get our main character alongside Cinderella, who is the evil stepmother. And she is played by Stephanie Lodge. Never seen any of these actors or actresses, by the way, that I'm reading out as we talk about this movie. Now, Stephanie Lodge, as this stepmother, basically orders kind of a hit right at the beginning of the movie to behead the Cinderella's father. Right, so straight away, you get a beheading, and I'll be honest, the practical effects isn't actually too bad. Yes, sometimes throughout the movie it is, but we'll get to that, and the beer is going to come into play. Don't you worry. Now, with Stephanie Lodge, when she orders this kind of thing, of course, the father gets the beheading, and then we cut into kind of present and a little bit some years later, and then we see Cinderella basically as kind of told in like the Disney movie as well, where she is kind of a maid, a servant, she's cleaning up after everyone, the stepmothers, the wicked stepsisters and all that kind of stuff, right? So there is some couple of similar tropes to the Disney movie. Now, with Cinderella, yeah, she's getting treated bad. Like, the stepsisters take, the absolute mick out of her. They treat her like dirt. So does the stepmom. None of them really care about Cinderella. And then they make her really cry. And the poor actress, Lauren, really tries to do a good effort of, like, making, like, a crying scene. She's like, but it's terrible. Yeah, cheers. Okay, so once she starts crying and once we get the gist of the fact that Cinderella is getting treated like dirt, she then starts to see more and more that she is just getting treated like dirt. She's an outcast. They don't care about her. They would rather get rid of her if they could, and they're going to do everything to make her life a living hell, including the fact of making up scenarios to call in the stepmother who runs this kind of big manor of sorts to basically punish Cinderella to do even more cleaning. So I will give them praise where it's due. The character Lauren plays of Cinderella, I kind of did feel for Cinderella, and I was like, wow, if the movie's going to keep going like this, I don't blame her for wanting to get revenge, because these people are absolute scumbags. I was like, okay, cool. We're getting somewhere here. So, as the movie starts to progress that little bit more, we get introduced to kind of gods of this whole manner of the evil stepmother, and then the stepsisters and these men, and the gods that they're kind of attracted to and want to be talking to, and all that kind of good stuff. Now, we start to get more into the stupid stuff. And what I mean by that is, as this movie starts to progress, we then get an announcement that there's going to be a ball coming up. Now, this ball that is going to be taking place, the prince is going to be there, and he's looking for a wife. And of course, the stepsisters want to get their piece of the pie. The stepmother is also kind of intrigued to maybe get a piece of the pie and get this kind of empire that the prince is going to inherit from the king. And they're getting really excited about this. They announce that they're going to go to the ball, but Cinderella also really wants to go. She wants to have her chance to go to this ball, get dressed up, be glamorous. The fact that she never ever gets to do this. And of course, the stepsisters are going to be like, well, you're not going. The stepmother, of course, is going to be like, you're not going. Like, you're kidding, aren't you? Like, you're a peasant. You're definitely not going. So, long and behold, they all go off to the ball. Cinderella is left in the manor. Now, at this point, Cinderella then gets to the Fairy Godmother. Well, not so much Fairy Godmother. She makes a wish. She's like, oh, I really wish things could work out for me. I really would like a change. I would really love to go to this ball. So, out comes the Fairy Godmother. And this is how the Fairy Godmother makes an introduction into the movie. And of course, she's like, oh, Cinderella, I heard your wish. And she's like, oh, yeah, you want to go to the ball? Okay, we can make this happen. So, stupid 101 right here. At this point, the Fairy Godmother's like, okay, well, you can't go looking like this, like in your maid servant's outfit. Like, you can't go like that. No lady would look like this at the ball. So then, through this kind of like Doctor Strange magic portal of sorts, she summons like Louis Vuitton. There's another one. Tom Ford. Tom Ford gets summoned here. And then there's also another one, like a famous hairstyler. But by the way, none of these people look like the real people. It's absolutely stupid. They really don't look like them. And you really don't see them working on a dress or anything whatsoever. You see them in like a very quick appearance. Then all of a sudden, kind of the next like quick scene or camera change, Cinderella's then got this dress on. And I'm like, well, that was a pretty quick fitting, right? That was a pretty quick at getting the measurements and making sure, this is going to fit absolutely perfect. Okay, so that's stupid enough as it is. Then, Cinderella, all dressed up, her hair is all done up as well. However, the hair, like the fringe is the exact same. It's like only the back of the hair that's slightly different. And I was thinking, okay, so this entire time, her hair has looked pretty much exactly like it's going to look like when she goes to this ball. Apart from it's a little bit more curly at the back. I was just like, Dumb 101. So she steps out of this manor, and of course the fairy godmother is there as well at the manor, and Cinderella's like, well, how am I supposed to get to the ball? There's no horse and carriage. You guys are really not going to believe what shows up next. That's right. From out in the smoke, out in the fog, comes Elon Musk lookalike, presenting an orange Tesla. You heard right. An orange Tesla. I don't know who writes this shit. Cinderella is like, wow, cool. And of course got to make a statement. Wow, it's really electric. It's really hybrid. However, there's a Tesla in this wish. Although this is kind of not really set in modern times. But the dialogue throughout is in all kind of ancient and old dialogue. How they speak and how they word things. Cheers, guys. Long behold, the story carries on, and then we get to the point where Cinderella gets to the ball. Now, when she gets to the ball, before this, the stepsisters are trying it on with the prince. By the way, the prince is played by Daryl Griggs, if I've got that right, and the stepsisters are Rachel and Josephine, played by Beatrice, Fletcher, and Megan Purvis. So the stepsisters are kind of taking it in turn to swoon and really get the prince and sweep him off his feet so that he falls in love with them. So basically they can be a future wife to Prince and money. So the prince is not really interested in them. He kind of takes an interest in being like this Chinese or Japanese lady who is very attractive, by the way, and he is starting to dance with her. Then all of a sudden, after this dance kind of goes half on, Cinderella shows up at the ball to the gobsmacked expressions of the stepsisters and stepmother. The prince, of course, is like, I was starting to lose hope. But he wasn't saying that a second ago when he was dancing with that Chinese-Japanese lady who, by the way, was pretty good looking. Yeah. So, long behold, him and Cinderella have a quick dance, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, literally is a scene that lasts 2 minutes flat. Maximum absolute tops, 2 minutes. And he's like, I was beginning to lose hope. I never thought that I would find anyone here. You know, in his kind of posh tone. And Cinderella's like, she's swooning. She's like head over heels straight away. And he's like, and by the way, this wish that she made to go to the ball and to have this dress and everything has got to run out by midnight. So she's kind of pretty much got to make the prince fall in love with her. Otherwise, she'll turn back to her maiden self by kind of midnight, right? So midnight's basically approaching. It's like a couple of minutes to, and she's like, I would love to, and I'd love to see you again, but I don't know when, or it's not possible. And he's like, I would love to see you again. I really, really would. So, yeah, long story short, he makes the wish. He wants to go meet her again. She can't meet him because she's going to be turned into a servant. Now, next day comes, of course, Cinderella is going to have some repercussions for her actions. And this is once again where she makes another scene with the fairy godmother who makes her a wish and kind of a deal to say, right, well, you know, if you want happiness, if you want the prince, if you want a good life and you want to get out from where you are, you're going to have to kill the people that is stopping you from having that. And this part right here is exactly where it comes into play, where Cinderella gets an evil mask that glows bright pink, light purple, whatever colour you want to call it. And as soon as she turns his mask, she turns evil. And she needs a mask to do the killings. So, yes. Cinderella starts to go around one by one, mainly at first, I believe, killing one of the gods, Bennett. Now, when she kills this god, and this is the thing, right, guys, this is so stupid. The fact that Cinderella has got to, when she wears this mask, right? She's wearing the same clothes as she wears, so like the maiden servant clothes. So straight away, you're going to tell who it is because she's the only person in this movie that's wearing this attire. There's no other servants or maids. It's literally only her. So she's wearing this exact same outfit. She's got this mask that covers the face, but the entire blonde hair is still on show. It's still down here. The hairstyle is still the same. And all these people that she ends up killing off, which we're going to get to, always like, who are you? Who is that behind the mask? And I'm like, bitch, please. She's got blonde hair. You know who that is. She kills Bennett. And after she kills Bennett, in this kind of tussle that they both have, he grabs a piece and a long lock of her blonde hair, and it's in his hand, which is going to come into play a little bit later. So once she kills Bennett, of course, he goes missing, and this is part stupid once again. So one of the guys and one of the guards that is doing these, kind of bidding for the stepmother and stuff, you get kind of like a sex scene with them and like someone else. However, this guy has got a very modern, like half sleeve tattoo. But remember, this movie, despite it being a twist and being different, they're speaking Old English dialect throughout, and he's got a very modern tattoo that would not exist back when. So yes, he has this tattoo, and one by one, she then starts targeting the evil stepsisters. So Rachel is the first one to get it, and don't get me wrong, again, the practical effects, guys, aren't too bad. They're actually okay, passable. Sometimes like the blood use as well is pretty cool, and Rachel gets a nice awful death with her eyes prodded out and gets knifed, right? Okay, so straight away, a very gruesome kind of death. Now, of course, they discover the body of Rachel, and they're wondering, okay, well, who is this? Who really, is going around doing this? And once again, Rachel's like, who is that behind the mask before her death? And I'm just, oh, come on, man. Shoot, how can you not tell? The only blonde character in this movie, and you don't know that it's them committing the murders. Anyway, let's fast forward a little bit, right? So as the movie goes on, Cinderella then kills Josephine, who is the other stepsister. So at this point, there's two people left besides Cinderella, who is the evil stepmother and her god called Hogan. Now, before the second stepsister gets killed, Josephine, this is where the blonde lock of hair comes in play, which I told you about before. They go out searching for Bennett's body and leave Cinderella and Josephine at home, while a killer is on the loose. Anyway, they find Bennett's body with this blonde lock of hair, and it takes them so long to find Bennett in this blonde lock. By that point, they realize, oh, it's Cinderella doing these murders. So Josephine gets killed after a little bit of a confrontation. Cinderella kills Hogan. So we're left to the final two, which is Cinderella and her stepmother, which of course, it's going to be those final two. So after a little bit of confrontation, after a little bit of fight, those two get into a scrap, and eventually Cinderella stops the evil stepmother, and she's the only one that survives. And when this happens, she falls asleep, and when she falls asleep and when she wakes up, her hair is like in a completely different style than we've seen in compared to the rest of the movie. Like her makeup looks pretty fresh, and she gets woken up by one of the servants that are left, who was never really involved in the entire thing. And he's like, hey, look, you might want to come downstairs. The police inspector is downstairs. So she goes wandering downstairs. Of course, she knows the events that's happened in the last, day or two or so, where she's killed everyone off. And the police inspector turns out to be the Fairy Godmother. Yeah, you can write this shit. So, once Cinderella sees the Fairy Godmother, and the Fairy Godmother is saying to her, there's been some murders, and Cinderella's been out for days, and she hasn't been awake for days. She's been in like a trance this entire time, but this mask is the one that's caused her like this evil spirit, so to say, to do all these killings. Then one of the most stupidest things in the movie happened. And that is, right next to the inspector, which is the fairy godmother, by the way, there is a body on the floor. Now, this body has got a full white sheet over it because, again, it is a dead body of Hogan, right? And they're trying to say, basically, Hogan is the one who killed the father right at the beginning to kind of plant all the murders on him, okay? So you're like, all right, okay, you know, the kind of twisted story, but okay, maybe it can kind of make some sense. What doesn't make sense, however, is the inspector says to Cinderella, can you identify this man? Bear in mind, it's a body on the floor with a full white sheet over the body. You can't see a face, you can't see an arms, you can't see a leg, you see nothing but a white sheet. And Cinderella's like, no, I can't identify that body. I mean, of course not. There's a white sheet over the body. No one can see the actual body, so no one can actually see who the hell it is on the floor. And let's just cut to the end, guys. Cinderella gets off with the murders. It's blamed on Hogan. And she gets with the prince. And basically, happy ever after. And that is Cinderella's Revenge. I hope you enjoyed this movie discussion, review, spoiler breakdown, whatever you want to call it. I had a blast putting this together. And believe it or not, I'm only on one can of beer, but it's pretty much gone. Yeah, this is a movie that I honestly recommend, that if you really want a terrible time, but you can laugh so much with how stupid this movie actually is, I think you'll get some enjoyment out of this. My score is a 1.5 out of 5. But if you've liked the video, certainly give it a like. You know, that really is appreciated. Big thank you to all my awesome patrons who help to really support the channel. They are absolute legends. Get your name in the limelight like these legends by clicking that link down below in the description box, and you can join today for only £2 per month. In the meantime, click over here and check out more reviews of mine that you may have missed. And until the next time that I see you guys, I'll be seeing you later.